Whenever people give me an opportunity to talk to you guys, especially seniors, I just jump at the chance. You know, there's a big campaign right now. There's billboards going up all over the country that's got like a beautiful scene of the nativity of the wise men going to see the baby Jesus, and it's just a billboard, and it says on it, you know, it's a myth. You know, it's Celebrate Reason or something. It's by the atheist, and it is a ploy to try to continue to undermine our faith, because so many people, if you tell them you're a Christian, if you go to a state school, you are going to run into teachers. You may run into one that will look at you and call you an idiot because you're a Christian, that you have archaic beliefs. And if you can't discuss with them why you believe what you believe, whenever you have questions that enter your head, if you don't resolve those questions, eventually they eat at your heart. Because as parents, we can take and we can pound you over the head with the Bible stories and what we know you need in your head, but there's a whole lot of other stuff coming in there too. That's what happened to me. Over the years, I got to tell you, I've had a lot of questions. I've had a lot of questions. If any of you guys ever studied John Clayton, over the course of the years, he's my mentor. I mean, I email him all the time, asking really crazy questions, and he tells me to go look it up, and he'll tell me where to go look it up, but he's fantastic. He's like 72 years old. John Clayton was an atheist. He worked for Madeline O'Hare. Anybody know who Madeline O'Hare is? Madeline O'Hare was the person who got prayer kicked out of our school. She was responsible for that. He worked with her, and he set out to write a book to disprove God. And in the course of trying to disprove God, this man's a scientist too. I think that needs to be known. In the course of him trying to disprove God, he proved God to himself and then Christ to himself. Have Darwin's name come up anytime you talk to anybody about theories of evolution or anything like that. You hear about Darwin. The problem with Darwin's tree of life is that the fossil record does not support it. And even though the fossil record does not support Darwin's tree of life, you will still go into some museums and see that stupid illustration. And the more that we study, the more they're seeing that the fossil record supports the creation story. Dr. Wells said, in the Cambrian explosion, this is absolutely contrary to Darwin's tree of life. These animals, which were so fundamentally different in their body plans, appear fully developed all of a sudden in what paleontologists have called the single most spectacular phenomenon of the fossil record. You see what I'm saying? If things evolved, wouldn't you see in the fossil record, you would see that progression in the fossil record, right? Well, the Cambrian explosion, all of a sudden you see life. And it's completely developed. How do they explain that? What scientists that don't see this, it's almost like some Christians that just don't want to see the truth about timelines and about things that we know are true, because they get so locked up in what they've been taught their whole life, they don't open their mind to the truth. I don't think I have this in here, but I'm going to share this with you because I just think it's profound. Josh McDowell. This guy we're going to get into in just a second if I don't completely run out of time. But Josh McDowell, this guy does Christian evidence stuff. He has written several books, and he had some students that took this book and they gave it to their history professor, and it was in a state college. And he read through it, and they went back to him a couple of months later and they said, hey, did you read it? They were trying to prove Christ to him. And he said, I did. And he says, it's the best I've ever read. He says, I don't see how anybody could refute the evidence that's in this book. But he says, I can't accept it because of my worldview. And they're like, you're kidding me. His worldview wouldn't let him believe in God, wouldn't let him believe in Christ. And a lot of times as Christians, we do that because of our congregational views. We have been so, and I want to be real careful how I say this, we've been so boxed in to this is this, this is this, this is this. And we forget that when we go before God, we're standing alone. You're not there with your preacher, you're not there with your teachers, you're not there with your mom and your daddy. You're standing alone. Christ interceding. You're alone. You better know what you believe. And it better be here.